Hi everyone, Gemma here, thanks for watching today. So I'm bringing you another Sunday surprise. In today's video we're going to be making a Mother's Day inspired project where I'll be mixing the 3D Delight collection with the pop-up wiper book collection. So this is a variation of the exploding box that I created that had a coffee cup inside for Valentine's Day. So if you haven't seen that video before, I'll link that for you now. So let me talk you through what I'll be using. So as I said, I'll be using the pop-up wiper book collection. So this is the new home editions die set. So we've got the stitch flowers there in various shapes and sizes. Then from the floral and hats stamp and die set, I'll be using the bow and the foliage there. So from the Love and Cake stamp and die set, I'll be using this die here to create a basket effect. So all three of these items are from the 3D Delights collection. And then the 3D Delight pop-up mechanism die set. So the idea for today's video is a acetate display box, and inside it'll have a basket full of flowers. So I'm going to break the display box down into two sections. So the first section will be the sides and the base, and then we'll do the lid separately. I'll then move on to assembling the basket. I won't go into too much detail on that because I have the previous video where it has a more in-depth guide on how to assemble the 3D Delight mechanism die. And then lastly we'll decorate everything together. So for the display box, I've got a plain piece of cardstock that will be on the back, and then we'll have the 3 acetate sides. So the basket will pop against this background. For the back panel, you need a piece of 8.5 by 8. Along the 8.5 inch side, we're going to score half an inch and at 8. Then rotate and score at 7.5. Then you need 3 pieces of acetate. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see this, that measure 8 by 8. And you want to score half an inch on 2 of the sides. So hopefully you can see that. So that's 3 pieces of acetate, 8 by 8, scored half an inch on 2 of the sides. Next you'll need 3 pieces of 7.5 squared. Now I've got 3 different colours of this, and the reason being is the person that I'm making the card for absolutely loves red. And I wanted to use this colour, but I didn't have enough of this cardstock. So I've got 2 variations of red. One will go on the outside and one will go on the inside. And again, because I was limited in cardstock, I've got a white piece. So this will be on the inside on the back panel. This will be on the inside on the base. And this white piece will be on the outside of the base. Hopefully that makes sense, but you'll see it as we assemble everything. Then for the mats and layers for the inside panel, I have a piece of 7.25 squared in white cardstock. Then I have a piece of 7 by 7 in this light pink cardstock, and I've dried embossed that with the linen embossing folder. So this will be the inside panel, and then these 2 pieces will sit on that, and the basket will pop against this panel. And then for the base mat and layers, as you can see, I've had to cut into this piece of cardstock. So as I said, I haven't got much of this in stock. So this will all be covered. You won't see any of it. So it would be a piece of 7 by 7. And then a piece of white cardstock that's 6.5 squared. So this will be the bottom of the box. And then we'll have our mats and layers on there like so. So you can add a message here if you wish. So the first thing that I want to do is attach my mats and layers to my panels while I have a flat surface, and then I'll assemble everything together. So as I said, this white piece will form the base of the box, and then we have the mats and layers there like so. I'm not going to attach this one now because I do want to add a personalized message on the bottom here. So I'll just attach those two and then this at a later stage. So that's now all attached. So I've got my 8.5 by 8 piece, and I folded and burnished along the score lines so they're valley folds. I'm just going to do a little bit of trimming, and then I'm going to attach my white piece and my pink piece. So this will sit on the inside of the box. So all I want to do is trim away these squares here. So I'm just going to follow the score line trim that away. Do the same on the opposite side. And then as these are forming tabs, I'm just going to take a wedge off all of the pieces, like so. And as I said, I'm just going to go ahead now and attach these panels. Next, we're going to work on our 3 acetate pieces. So hopefully you can see that. Just pop a piece of cardstock behind it. So we're going to fold and burnish along the score lines. Like so. We're going to trim away this square as we did with the back panel piece. And then before I take any wedges off, I'm going to add red tape on both sides of the acetate, and then I'll come back to you. So I've gone ahead and I've added the red liner tape to both sides of the acetate, and I've taken a little wedge off all of the tabs. We're going to bring in our back panel piece now, and you also want to add red tape on the 2 side pieces here. So just on the outside edge. So I've removed my red liner tape off the 1 tab here on the acetate. And we're going to attach these 2 pieces together. So I'm leaving the red liner tape on this tab here first of all, and then we're going to attach the acetate to the back of this piece. So everything will be hidden. I'm just going to flip it round so I got a better view. I'm just going to line that bottom corner up. Once I'm happy with that, I'm going to then remove the red liner tape from the cardstock and fold that over so they're attached together. And then I'm just going to reinforce that score line, and it'll also help burnish the red tape. So I'm going to make my way along now and attach the next panel in the same way. So you want to make sure that the score lines at the bottom marry up, because you'll have a wonky box otherwise. If you have any overhang at the top here, you'll be able to trim that away. So I'm slightly off there. I'm going to attach the next piece, and then I'll trim that with my metal ruler and craft knife. So I've gone ahead and I've attached all 3 panels together. So before I close everything up, I want to hide these tabs here. So I've got 2 pieces of a 7.5 by 1 inch, and I've scored at 1/2 inch, and they will go there like so. So you want to valley fold those pieces. And then we're going to attach those. So I've gone ahead and I've attached red liner tape to both sides. And I'm just going to lay that down on the one edge, like so, and then remove the tape from the other side and place that down. So now that these pieces are attached, we're going to fold over the back panel like so, and fold this edge down, and everything should marry up like so. Might need to reinforce that score line there and just burnish that. And then if you can see that, because again it's a large project, you know me, I don't like to do things small. So we've got all of our 4 sides now. Next I've cut 2 pieces of 7.5 by 1/2 inch, and these then will sit on the inside here just to cover those tabs up and give it a cleaner edge. So I'm just going to attach those and then I'll come back to you. So I did get ahead of myself and went to attach the back piece. But what I need to do is cover up these acetate pieces first and then add the back panel. So I've cut 4 pieces of 1 by 7.5 and I've scored at 1/2 inch. So these pieces that will attach to this back panel, I'm just going to trim a little bit off the sides that will sit on this piece. So we've got a square edge on this side and the tapered edge then on the back panel. And I'm just going to run some red tape on the one edge here. So on this corner here I don't have any red tape, on this piece I do. So I'm just adding some red liner tape to the edge that's square that will sit over there. And leave in the other side. So you want it to marry up to the inside piece. So you've got a clean finish on the outside and on the inside. I'm going to go ahead and do the same on this side. And now those corner pieces are added, I'm just going to add the back piece. So I've also gone ahead and I've added the corner pieces to the front of the box also. And now we're going to add the base. So I'm going to remove the tape from one edge. And I'm just going to attach to one corner there. Remove red tape from the next corner. And the last corner there. And I'm just going to bring that around. Hopefully you can see that. And I'm just lining up the edge there. I'm also going to add some quick grab glue along this tab. I'm really sorry about the camera angle. I have invested in a new stand, but I need to attach it to my desk. And then I'm just going to go inside and press that tab with a quick grab glue down. And then it's just the last awkward bit now where we remove the red liner tape from the base there. I'm also going to add some Collal glue. So I'm just going to do a tester just to make sure that that sits in there okay. We don't have any buckling before I remove everything. So I am going to trim a little bit off two of the sides so that fits in there nicely. So in hindsight, it might have been better to add the red liner tape on this piece rather than have to go inside and remove the liner from inside the box. So that's all the tape now removed, and I'm just going to add some Collal glue. So that's the acetate box now all complete with the back panel, and now we're going to move on to the lid. So for the lid you need a piece of 11 5/8 squared, and you're going to score at 1 and 2 on all four sides. So you want to rotate the cardstock as you're scoring, because we have that 1/8 of an inch overhang to help it fit on the box better. And then for the mats and layers, we have a piece of a 7 1/4 squared in white cardstock, 4 pieces of 3/4 of an inch by 7 1/4. For the pink cardstock, you need a piece of 7 by 7 and 4 pieces of 1/2 inch by 7. So I've gone ahead and I've folded and burnished along the score lines, and I've also started trimming this piece. So I'm just going to show you the last corner here. So I'm working on the left hand side, and we're going to come across past the first score line up to the second score line, and we're going to cut past the first score line up to the second. So you're freeing up these two pieces here. Then we want to remove this L shape. Hopefully you can see that, this piece here. So I'm just rotating it and cutting up to the first score line. Then rotating it again and cutting up the first score line to remove those two pieces there. And then remove this last square like so. So you'll end up with a piece like that. So the next thing we're going to do is just take a wedge off the tabs here. So on this end piece, take a little bit off there and work your way around and do all of the edges on those larger tabs. So that's all complete. Now we're going to concentrate on these squares here. So again, this is a tab, so you just want to take a little wedge off each side there and just rotate and work your way along all the 4 pieces. So the trimming is all complete. So you should have a piece like this. So before I start assembling, I like to work on a flat surface, so I'm going to add my mats and layers. So these pieces will be folded inside, so you want to add the mats and layers on the inner rectangle there, so you're leaving the outer piece free. So I'm just going to go ahead now and attach all those, and I'll come back to you. So that's all the mats and layers attached. Now we're going to work on assembling the lid. So you want to flip it over and select a tab. Any tab is fine. I'm using quick grab glue here. This is Cosmic Shimmer. And I'm just bringing the sides together and squaring it off, holding that in place until it gives it enough time to grab. So you want a nice square edge there. So I'm just doing the same on the opposite side. What you may want to do before attaching these 2 tabs to this back piece here is just bring in your box like so, and just check that you have enough room. I think that should be fine, even with the sides folded over. So I'm just adding glue to these 2 remaining tabs. And just bringing the side pieces up again, squaring the edge off so it creates that nice corner. So I'm not being patient enough. I didn't give it time to grab, and I didn't add that pressure there, so that's why those tabs are popping out. Now I'm just going to fold everything in and just double check that the lid is okay. Yep. So that fits lovely. So I'm going to add some Collal glue now to help strengthen this piece. So hopefully you can see that. All I'm doing is, if I bend this tab back, just add in some glue along here and just folding that over. And then you want to go in with your bone folder and just add some pressure on the inside there to help it grab, and also reinforce that score line along the edge there. So I'm just going to work my way around now and get everything attached. So there's our lid now, all complete and ready to go on the box. So it's a nice snug fit. So I'm struggling to get it all on camera, but you sort of get the idea there if I move it up and down. So there's the lid, and then going down to the base. So I'm going to work on my basket now. As I said at the start of the video, this is an in-depth tutorial on how to assemble this. I already have that coffee cup video, so you can have a look at that. I'm just going to pop you on high speed so you can see the process, and I'm sure many of you are familiar with the construction of this. So that's my basket now all prepared and ready to decorate. So I'll just bring in my glue gun and the items that I prepared. So I've just die cut various flowers in several pink and red tones. I've heat embossed the leaves and foliage and die cut those also. So I've got plenty there to decorate the basket. So what I'll do is pop you on high speed and I'll get this decorated, and then I'll come back to you after that. So that's the basket all now decorated. I think it looks really nice and it's going to go great in the display box. I'm just going to add some hook and loops on the bottom of this and then stick it down inside the box like so. So that's my basket now attached inside the box. I brought my camera up as much as possible to just show you the full effect. I have to move it up and down on the camera, sorry, just to get that in. So I think this looks really cool. Off camera, I'm going to add a topper here with maybe some extra flowers and leaves, and add my personalized message on the bottom of the box. So I hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you have, you might want to give me a thumbs up, leave a comment, or consider subscribing to the channel. Apologies if you can hear any background noise. It's window cleaning day and they've just surprised me. All the products used in today's video will be listed in the description box below. Once again, thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!